Hey everyone. It's been about, what, 2 weeks-ish? Yeah, slight hiatus, and I kind of missed my 1 year channel anniversary, so... not that great, but I will say, I did have a nice 2 week break, except for the fact that I heard that Ukraine got invaded, and, well, that wasn't that great. Elden Ring came out, that was pretty good until I got my ass beat by Margit multiple fucking times. But so, let's jump into the news, shall we? So, now generally speaking, I don't really do any, like, real-world politics stuff and talking about that stuff, but I will say that the Ukraine situation probably supersedes me just being a gaming news channel. So I do want to talk about the Russian conflict. And let me put it like this. Yeah, fuck Vladimir Putin for invading Ukraine and doing what he did. Ton of awful things, and at least as of now, there's talks about Russia stopping the invasion in Ukraine, and Ukraine, I think, integrating with the EU is what I've been seeing. Do not quote me on that one. But so, I think it's great that Russia wasn't able to just get into Ukraine and put like a puppet state in there, because, yeah, that had been bad. And, yeah, I will just say that I think it's really good that Ukraine was able to stave off Russia, and I do hope that Putin gets kicked out by Russian citizens, but knowing what's happening there, it's not going to happen. But I do hope that either Putin stops his shit and leaves, or he gets voted out and or something happens in Russia where Putin is no longer there. Because, yeah, this was really awful. And the fact that Putin was making claims about using such force that we've never seen in the history of the world, it's like, you're going to actually send nukes out like that? And so, yeah, basically, it's been a constant clusterfuck. But at least as of now, it looks like Ukraine is able to get their feet on the ground, and they were able to push back Russia, and now they are getting Russia to the negotiation tables. And I can only hope that this continues on. So, we'll see in the future. Maybe I'll come up with an update for this one later. So, yeah. But so, as of now, that's all we know about what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. Anyway, to the gaming news. So, Elden Ring came out, and everybody seems to really love it. Now, this game's not for everybody. Let me come out with that first. For those that didn't like the Souls-like games in the first place, you're not going to like Elden Ring. Now, is it a little bit easier than I think the original Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and, Sekiro Souls-like games? Yes, but also it's still hard. So it's easier in the sense because there's a lot more side paths and side content that you can do, so you can level up and then start one-shotting bosses, or, well, not one-shot, but, deal a lot more damage while not taking as much. But the issue is, though, is that it's still a Souls game, and even if you are over-leveled for an area, if you're not playing smart, you're not going to be able to win. And so, yeah, at the very least, I'm enjoying Elden Ring, and a majority of people are. If you look at, like, the peak concurrent players, the reviews, it's just insane. So, yeah, but if you have seen anything about Elden Ring that's negative, you've seen that there's performance issues. So, for example, on the Steam Deck, Valve is taking Elden Ring performance, and they're updating their Steam Deck to optimize the game for the Steam Deck. For PS5, PS4, and then Xbox One and Xbox Series X, the game is having, like, I think average 50 FPS, give or take, 45, 50. And on PC, it's been a real crapshoot. For example, on my system and some friends' systems, the game runs fine, except really weird stutters. And it's not even like, it stutters when there's a ton of action necessarily. Sometimes it'll literally stutter in just us progressing through the areas. And so it doesn't quite make sense as to why our stutters are happening. But then some other people, like Katarikris said, yeah, I can't run this game. It doesn't run at all. And I'm just like, that's so strange. So yeah, if you're having any performance issues, know you're not alone. And, FromSoft is trying to fix it. But I will say, man, the fact that the game doesn't run that great for some people and it's somewhat inconsistent for us is just really weird. But I will say, at the very least, if your system can run it with, like the basic system requirements, I think you should give it a try. If you do like the Soulsborne games, or even if you kind of liked it but you didn't like how hard it was, this one might be a little bit easier because of the fact that there's side paths to level up, and then you can take on, like, major bosses. But so, yeah, maybe I'll do a review for this one. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have the time. It's just, this game takes so long just because it's so huge, bosses are so hard. Yeah, it's just, we'll see. Now, next up on the list, the guy I want to talk about next, Shilla. Played the Witch Queen campaign, and I think he likes it. I don't know. At the very least, online general reception has shown that The Witch Queen is doing very well, and people love the content. But I'm still very much against the fact that Destiny 2 is kicking out content. For example, Forsaken was the one content batch that was removed from The Witch Queen. I think if you paid for it, it should stay in there. If it was, like a free content drop and they're like, oh, we're going to remove it now, that's one thing. But, I paid for Forsaken when I was playing Destiny, and so it doesn't feel good in my opinion when you remove content like that. But, it's whatever. It's Bungie's game, and people will support those practices if they think it is deemed good to do so, or, okay to do so. And at the very least, the Witch Queen campaign is doing really well, and the amount of content that's been dropped with the campaign and the expansion seems to be really good. So yeah, play the Witch Queen campaign if you have Destiny 2. Yeah. So next up, I want to talk about Guild Wars 2. Now, I'm not a particularly big MMO guy, but I've seen a ton of ads for this. I know some of my friends are playing this too. End of Dragons, the expansion, is the third expansion, I guess, for Guild Wars 2. And yeah, it seems to be doing really well in terms of at least getting attention. Of course, I don't know how the content is. I'd have to ask some of my friends in the general reception online. But it looks promising. And Guild Wars 2, I remember when it first came out, and yeah, it was doing really well when it came out. And I expect this to do just as well, if not better than the previous Guild Wars 2 expansion. So we'll see if that happens. Next up on the list, I want to talk about Pokemon. And yeah, these are the 3 starters for the new game, Scarlet and Violet. And people think it's going to take place in Spain, and yeah, that looks interesting. So it's been 3 years, there's going to be a new generation, and I definitely think they should stop doing that. Personally speaking, like, the yearly release thing is one thing. You could have different studios outsource the game to other studios, kind of like what Call of Duty does, but I still criticize that too because it's just how there isn't much innovation that really occurs, and the year-to-year innovations, like the big ones that do happen, such as Black Ops 4 compared to Modern Warfare with the whole attachment system. Sure, it's big, but I don't know. It just feels bad when they do that because it doesn't look good because the game's kind of the same every year. Of course, there's a different campaign, different multiplayer mechanics, but it's all kind of the same shoot around, run around, And this is somebody who has played some of the COD games, so I'm not just saying this, oh, it's the same thing every year. I have some experience with that. And Pokemon, sure, they did just release Arceus, and whoo, everybody loves that. And at least knowing Game Freak, they're going to capitalize on that, so there's going to probably be a Legends of insert region here. And I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe they make a Legends for Gen 9, I think this is, Gen 9 for this generation, as their next game, but, who knows. But I really do hope that, Game Freak slows down on the game production, or at the very least, if they do make new games, they'll outsource it. So like Arceus, they'll outsource it to somebody else, and then, they take in the product and, do a few changes to make sure it's good. But, that's besides the point. But so yeah, Gen 9's coming out, and we'll see more about it in the future. So, that'll be the end of this week's news, until, Ukraine decides to, get the full peace talks out, or if Russia decides to actually commit to war invading of Ukraine, then I'll probably get back to you about that. But so, yeah, a lot of really interesting things this week, and I hope only more good things happen. Minus, the Russia-Ukraine stuff, that's bad. But I do hope Ukraine gets, with the peace talks with Russia so that they stop doing what they're doing. But anyway, I will see y'all next week. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out.